Hello guys and welcome here. So in today's video we are going to talk about the forecast function inside of Microsoft Excel. So before we even start this video, please take note that the function forecast is not bulletproof, so it's not perfect, but we are still going to try to use it in order to predict the prices of stocks. So to be able to do that, what you can do is simply have the past data. It could be of a stock, it could be of homes, it could be any past data that you want to predict the future value of, and we are going to work with. So in my case right here, I'm going to use the past data of the NASDAQ index in order to do this little exercise. So how exactly the forecast function works? So pretty simple. The forecast function is divided in three parts. So if I'm writing it down, I'll just zoom in and I write down forecast. So here, as you can see, there is a lot of different forecasts that I can do. What I'm gonna do is keep it as simple as possible and simply write down forecast and open my parentheses. In my case, what I wanna do is I simply want to predict, in this case, the average closing price of the NASDAQ for a certain year. So let's say I want to predict the average closing price of the NASDAQ for the year 2030, for example. So I'll just write down 2030 right here. So as you can see, there is three parts to my function. There is the X, the known Y's, and the known X's. So in this case, I'll start with my X, which will be 2030. Now, known Y's. The known Y's are simply the past prices of my stock. So in this case, I'll just select all the past prices of my stock. And finally, the known X's, logically, it will be the known dates that I'm trying to, that I know for my stock. So in this case, it will be from the year 2010 to the year 2024. And I can close my parentheses, and here we go. So I know that for the year 2030, there we go. So for the year 2030, the NASDAQ is expected to have an average closing price of $20,635. Once again, as I said, this is not perfect information. And this is just the average closing price, which is not the year closing price. So let's do the same exercise for the year closing price right here. So as you can see here, the NASDAQ closed at $19,486 for the year 2024. So we'll try to predict what will be its price in the year 2030. Once again, as I said a little bit earlier, this is not perfect. So how exactly are we going to write it down? So as I said, we're going to write down forecast, and we are going to open our parentheses. So the X, so the year for which we want to predict this amount, will be for the year 2030. Now, the values that we know, so the known Y's, so we know the closing prices for the year 2010 till the year 2024. And finally, the known X's, which are the years that we have data for. So we have data from the year 2010 till 2024. And we can just close our parentheses like this. And just like that, we can predict that the year closing price for the NASDAQ for the year 2030 will be $22,586. Once again, take note that this is not, as I said, perfect information, but it's a good way to try to predict different things. So here, for example, I did it for an index fund. You can do it for pretty much anything that you want. You can do it for inflation. You can do it to calculate, I don't know, the house values. You can calculate, you can try to forecast pretty much anything that you want. So if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe, and see you in another of my videos.